Alrighty, sorry about that, y'all. So, this will be the People News. Not attorney, not giving legal advice. Anything I say or do is my opinion. Opinion only. Okay, I'm hearsay. Alright, so, you know how it goes, y'all. Never look straight forward. Always look around you. Be able to protect yourself by any means necessary. Sometimes, if you can find an extremely good attorney, you may ought to use them. Alright, but they're once in a blue moon, and this happens to be one of them. Yes, we're talking about C.J. Grisham out of Texas. Okay, and he dances around town to town and calls out the corruptions in your local town. Okay, and this is one of them. Okay, now he's going to bring up a code 39. Okay, now that code in Texas, and very few states actually have this, but it actually has a Texas code that tells our government officials they cannot commit crimes. I don't know. It's unbelievable. You actually had to make a code up to tell government officials that you cannot commit crimes. Anyway, they have a specifically code and a couple of other little statutes in there. But yeah, Texas is at least smart enough to do it. Now, the problem we have here in Texas, unless you're an attorney, I'm led to believe, right? Me and you, even though we have a right to do these things and file criminal complaints and this, that, here, and there, take it to the magistrate, take it to the clerk, and have an indictment done with the grand jury and all these kind of things, and you know, telling officers, you know, he needs to fill out a criminal complaint against the judge or magistrate and sheriffs and all this. Well, they still safeguard themselves from all this. And again, if they are doing that, they're committed another crime. They're not taking a criminal complaint, especially with a man or woman making a criminal complaint under affidavit and penalty of perjury, right? So if you're going to do that in Texas, at least put that 39 in there, okay?
Visitor comment section. And I just want to point out, Mr. Member, myself and the council, we cannot make any comments.
By the way, this is in Tye, Texas, okay, Tye, all right? And it's pretty much down the road from where I'm at, around the Abilene area. And it's a little bitty town, but there's been a couple of people that are a little pissy about their little local government.
Back, you can ask us any questions and comments you heard, and then we'll move to the next part of the meeting. So the first person we have is C.J. Bishop, and that'll be willing to agree with it. You might want to.
If you just now turned in about anything about CJ, write these numbers down, okay? And he's going to call out case law. Write the case law down, okay? And check him out. Oh, by the way, the best attorneys always find one that's been abused by officers and gives them that incentive to be a lawyer. And this is what happened to him. He didn't want to become a lawyer, but he was not getting remedy. So he decided to fight this in the inside house.
So, Mr. Mayor, my name is C.J. Grisham. I'm a civil rights attorney specializing in First and Second Amendment law as well as the Texas Open Meetings Act. The first thing that I came here for, or I didn't come here for, I just heard that a person can and the city council can actually respond to citizen comments. What you cannot do is get into a debate. You can provide, if I have a question about a policy, they can answer a question about policy. If I have a question of fact, you can answer a question of fact. The Open Meetings Act is very clear about that under chapter 551. In your packet here, there's a few papers I wanted you all to see, because I'm here in a representative capacity on behalf of one or more Thai city members, citizens. And I won't say who those people are, but just know that I am here in a representative capacity as their attorney to hopefully educate the city council on what is doing wrong, and specifically you, Mr. Mayor, what you're doing wrong and the laws that you're violating. So I'm here to provide hopefully an education so that we can avoid litigation. That's my point. That's my purpose. I don't like to sue government, but when I have to, I love it. So the first one is 3902 under the Texas Penal Code. This is called abuse of official capacity. A public servant commits an offense if with the intent to obtain a benefit or with the intent to harm or defraud another, he intentionally or knowingly violates a law related to a public servant's office or employment. Just wanted to make you aware of that. 3903, official oppression under the Penal Code. By the way, that's a Class A misdemeanor. Official oppression, a public servant acting under color of his office or employment commits an offense if he, one, intentionally subjects another to mistreatment or to arrest, detention, search, seizure, dispossession, assessment, or lien that he knows is unlawful, or two, intentionally denies or impedes another in the exercise or enjoyment of any right, privilege, power, or immunity knowing his conduct is unlawful. That's also a Class A misdemeanor, both of them punishable by up to a year in jail and a $4,000 fine. Next is federal law. That's another area that I love. 42 U.S. Code, Section 1983. This is a civil action for deprivation of rights. Any person, every person, doesn't matter if you're a mayor or not, under the color of any statute, ordinance, regulation, custom, or usage, causes to be subjected any citizen of the United States or other person within the jurisdiction thereof to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities. He said again, rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution and laws shall be liable to the party injured in action at law. 18 United States Code 241, this is a felony. If two or more persons conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured them by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or because of its having exercised the same, shall be fined under this title, which is up to $10,000, or in prison not more than 10 years, or both. Again, it's a felony. Section 551.002 of the Local Government Code. Ordinances or rules inconsistent with state law. As you know, of course, a general rule, city must follow state law. The governing body of a municipality may adopt, enforce, or maintain an ordinance or rule only if the ordinance or rule is consistent with the laws of the state. Now, why is that important? Well, I saw the video.
Okay, we're going to stop right there right quick. And you heard me talk about in the past, some of y'all, all right, the grass is 12 inches high. And the city says you can't have the grass 12 inches high. Yeah, that is true in most cases. However, that only applies to the creature of the state. McDonald's, yes. The township's buildings, their grass has got to be maintained and all that. But that does not apply to your private home. Okay? I don't know if CJ knows this or not. He's such a good attorney and doing such a good job. He kind of keeps it in his wheelhouse. Great for him. But all these statutes has got to be within the guides of the statute, which is the creature of the state, people. Okay? And if it's not, I'm just saying that they could possibly pass these laws, create another statute that applies onto the people's private property. But that would be a different subject matter. And it would have to be a different statute. Now, the hurdle they had to go by, that would violate the Constitution of the state and federal of your own private property. Why? Because it's not, it's not, and it's not the creature of the state.
I did open records request. Chapter 551.127.
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to, that's it, it's 8:11, that's 4 minutes.
I'd like
I make
to
a
request 2
motion.
extra minutes if I may.
That anybody under the 3-minute rule, that is a suggestion, we have to allow him a reasonable time frame. I make a motion that we allow Mr. Grisham a reasonable time frame to make his statement.
I'll second.
Now, give that lady credit, because she wants to hear this, because now her ears perked up because she is liable for maybe some time in jail. And she wants to know these laws that she is breaking, right? And she wants to know what her mayor's doing, because she's been taught within this realm. It's going to get better, y'all. They're going to explain the city jobs, city attorney's job.
We wish to hear you,
Continue
Mr.
on.
Grisham.
Section 551.127 of the Government Code. A member or employee of a governmental body may participate remotely in a meeting of a government body by means of a video conference call if the video and audio feed of the members' or employees' participation is broadcast live at the meeting. That does not mean that the mayor gets to decide who gets to participate by meeting. It's that member or employee gets to decide. A member of a government body who participates in a meeting shall be counted as present at the meeting for all purposes. So if you've got a rule, Mr. Mayor, that violates that, you're in violation of the law, which is called official oppression and abuse of authority under color of law, both Class A misdemeanors and under federal law, a felony. A meeting may be held via teleconference or video conference only if a quorum of the government body is physically present at one location. Now, as also part of my open records request, I saw that you filed several criminal charges for free speech. One of them was against because I asked for all police reports in the last 6 months that were filed by you, Mr. Mayor. So, you had the police actually get involved because someone, quote, hurled insults at you and called you a dictator.
No.
By going to the, excuse me, no discussion.
Why? You said we could discuss.
If I ask you a question, yes, Mr. Mayor, you can't do it. And I haven't asked you a question yet. And began hurling insults at him and calling him a dictator. Going to the police is exactly what a dictator would do, so you essentially proved that particular aspect. The mayor stated that this person told him that if he were to drive by her house and come by, she would throw rocks at him. And goes on to state that he wanted her to know that throwing rocks is a dangerous action would cause harm. You know or should know that the assault charge requires what's called imminent conduct. So you knew that that's just nothing but speech. I've got some case law here. Gonzalez v. Trevino. I've got several others in your packet there as well about the fact that speech is perfectly legal. You've got Henley v. State, DeWalt v. State, McGarry v. State, Hill v. State. Now, Hill v. State is more appropriate to this because threat's not imminent. This is a person in jail who threatened the city manager that he was going to, when he got out of jail, was going to find him and hunt him down and hurt him. The court found that threat's not imminent because they were conditioned on his release from jail at some future time and did not have the present ability to carry out the threats, are not imminent and does not meet the definition of assault. You knew very well that she said, if you come by my house, first of all. You've also filed charges against and by the way, the fact that you had someone else, Mr. Moore, the fact that you had someone else essentially try to support you on this effort in making statements to the police, that's where the conspiracy charge comes in. That's another felony. So really, the reason I'm here, Mr. Mayor, is I just wanted to put you and the city council on notice that I am watching, because the thing that I like to do is make sure that not only are citizens' rights protected, but that the people who run the cities, the people who manage and are supposed to be representing the people that you see in this audience, that they have competent representation. That they don't have to worry about if they say something, the mayor's gonna weaponize the police department. Let me read this to you as well, because I understand that, you believe that the city, attorney works for you. The city attorney does not work for you. The city attorney's client is the city, not the mayor, not the mayor pro tem, not a city council member. She does not represent the mayor, the manager, or even city council. According to the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct, the city attorney has one client and one client only, the city as a whole. While a city attorney may report to and accept certain directions from city officials, it is the city attorney's duty to act in the best interest of the city. So for the rest of you on city council, if you want to talk to your city attorney, you have every right to talk to your city attorney, and she has to speak to you. If she refuses to talk to you because she thinks that she doesn't have to talk to you, or because the mayor says she doesn't have to talk to you, file an ethics complaint with the Texas Bar, the Texas State Bar, for violation of the ethics rules. She works for the city. She doesn't work for anyone. She doesn't work for the secretary. She doesn't work for the chief. But if the secretary has a question, the secretary can go and ask her a question. If you, Mr. Childers, have a question, you can go and talk to her. She does not work for the mayor. The mayor does not run her. All of you have access to the mayor. Your lowliest garbage collector can go to the city attorney if he's got a problem or a question of law, because he works for all of them. All right, and then finally, what you put on the city website about Miss Blessing. Have you read this, sir? No, the Constitution. I didn't think so. You would like a copy? No. Okay. Using city resources against.
Now, what CJ showed him was a book about the Constitution and asked if they read it.
I'm sorry. Oh, do you want a copy? I can give you a copy. So, what I do is, I go around suing government officials who violate their laws. I've got the championship belt here to prove it. I'm the Texas Tyrant Slaying Champion. I hope I don't have to come back here.
And you still gotta love that lady on the couch, right? She clapped her hands on that.
Do the right thing, Mr. Mayor. Just recognize that you are all a team. Do the right thing. Obey the law.
For sure.
Likewise.
I'm offended. I'm offended.
Okay.
Well, be offended.
That one? All right.
Doesn't bother me.
All right. So there you guys go. Even maybe take a copy of this tape or go to CJ Grissom's, make a copy of it, or put it on your YouTube phone and actually